He has a stupid response though, and I think you gotta know your place, bro. And you have you have a look for radio and a voice for print, my friend.
So this all
No
comes back
offense.
down to what is the underlying issue? Ego.
Ego, bro.
This is the Bad Hombre Podcast.
Stand up.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
You know, it's funny. I watched both of them separately, like
Who?
before they started Fresh and Fit.
So this is the two of them, Fresh and Fit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So a lot of people are roasting Fresh, which is like the bigger guy.
The
He
main
has-
one?
Not the main one. The main one's Myron.
Myron, that's it. Sorry. So he's the other one then.
Myron Gaines. Fresh is like, I don't know. Fresh had an episode with Grant Cardone
Oh, yeah?
where he had to pitch him.
This water here is very good for you, has a lot of nutrients in it as well. However, at the same time, this water can be or not be important to you.
The thing with Fresh, bro, is he's a bad communicator.
Okay. In which way?
Like he has a stutter. He trips over his words. He's not a good speaker. He doesn't project a lot of confidence.
Okay.
And I think he tries to be cooler than he is. But I think, I don't know, this is my theory. I think he was the guy to pay the bills, to put his credit card to get the studio in Miami.
So you think he's kind of the responsible financial one behind it?
Yeah, I think every duo has both, right? They had the speaker and the Fresh is the guy who paid for a lot of the equipment they had at first.
Yep.
He believed in Myron Gaines.
Because of his personality and his speaking abilities. And
Myron Gaines is a very good speaker. I did a podcast with Donovan Sharp like 5 years ago.
okay.
And Donovan is also a great speaker. And he's sort of like the guy who co-signed Myron Gaines. Myron Gaines has been in the game for a very long time. He used to hit up John Anthony Lifestyle for dating advice. He was in the pickup community. Fresh was more of like the money guy. I'm seeing this guy. I'm seeing Fresh with Grant Cardone. I'm seeing Myron with Donovan Sharp. Donovan Sharp is the guy who brought up Kevin Samuels, Myron Gaines. Myron Gaines is kind of like responsible for a lot of Andrew Tate's fame.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I think Fresh was kind of like the business mind behind this.
Mm-hmm.
And Myron Gaines was kind of like the front-facing, a speaker.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I think that Fresh should have stayed behind the scenes, but he wanted.
He wants a piece of the action.
He wants a piece of the action.
Okay.
And with that comes a lot of hate because he gets really overshadowed by Myron Gaines.
Yeah, and so a lot of people are hating on him because of it. Just saying
Yeah,
he's
so
out of
then
place.
you have a video like this one. Like I'm going to play it right now.
Okay, got you.
I wanted to ask Fresh a question.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, Fresh, I wanted to know, right, as a man, how does it feel to know that the only reason you're successful is based on the talent of Myron?
Look at Myron's face.
He's like, fuck.
It's like, because he sucks, bro. You're telling your boy that shit? Like,
yeah,
How's it
that's
feel?
empty.
Yeah, how does it feel to know that if it wasn't because you met Myron, you would still be working at Chick-fil-A or whatever it is you used to do?
see, that's the thing. That's a misconception. Like, I think Fresh, he wasn't like a broke guy before. Like, he was.
I don't know what he was doing before. I don't know anything about him. But like for what he was doing before.
Like, for him to be on Grant Cardone, it probably tells me that he was like some sort of sales guy, business guy, selling some sort of service.
Grant's one of the top.
What was my
business
last
guys.
job?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your last job? I don't know, man. One time I heard you say something about Chick-fil-A, but I don't know, something that wasn't as successful as what you're doing now. That's what it was. How does it feel to know that if Myron was to like just not be cool with you no more or fell out with you or something like that, you would be done. Like you wouldn't be able to make money anymore. You wouldn't be able to sustain your lifestyle anymore because the money you make now is 100% based on the intelligence and the talent of Myron Gaines, not yours.
That's harsh.
I mean, I wonder why the guy's coming at him with that. Maybe it's because he watches this and just sees him stutter, and maybe Myron is the face of all.
Show
of this.
called.
Yeah.
It's called Fresh and Fit.
Okay. Just wondering.
Okay, that's a stupid response, though.
What's it called? It's Fresh.
What's the
and-
show called? Fresh and Fit. Okay. That's the thing. He's not a good speaker, bro. Like, he's just not. He doesn't have good camera presence.
I mean, he's taking his little jab back, as you know.
He's not. He's not like at the level of Myron Gaines. Here's the thing, though. Here's the response. Now, I commend Fresh for this. He's also looking after Fit because he could have easily said, "Well, I invested a lot of money, and if the show hadn't become successful, it would have been his loss." I don't know how much money Fit invested on the show,
Yeah.
but when you invest and the show takes off, the host gets all the credit. But if the show had failed, it would have been Fresh who would have lost all that money. The cameras, the equipment. These guys came off the bat, bro, with a studio, 4K cameras, tripods, microphones.
It takes money.
At least, bro, my estimation, $30,000.
Okay.
Like this right here is 10 grand.
The setup you have right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they had for like 6 guests, right?
Yeah.
So, and I think that was a lot of Fresh's investment.
Well, there's that too, but also having somebody who's willing who has enough confidence in you to throw that money down and believes in you that much too, right? So,
But I think the thing is, though, he puts himself as a co-host, and I don't know if he's done any work on public speaking, acting, reading, even fucking, what do you call it? Improv classes, acting classes. I think this guy made money, and he spends a lot of it on sugar babies.
does he? Good for him.
Yeah, and girls.
Okay, let me ask this then. Do you feel he's gotten better over time?
No.
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 Okay.
Not at all, bro. Those guys are making a lot of money. Like they became the top podcast for a very long time, and they were at the top for a very long time.
They've been all over social media.
and
Yeah.
I don't think especially Fresh did any work on improving his speaking skills.
You would think. How long has this podcast been out now?
Like they really blew up during the lockdown.
Okay, so let's just say 5 years.
Yeah.
Well, no, we'll just say they came up around 5 years ago is when they started really blowing up.
Myron has become a way better speaker.
But that speaks volumes about you, though, as a person. You know, are you improving, or are you just sitting there and staying stagnant?
But the thing is, Myron, like Fit, was already a very talented, articulate person.
Yep.
And this guy is like, like Elon Musk, he's not a good speaker. Like you listen to him and he's like it's boring.
Yeah.
But he's brilliant because all of his businesses are successful.
Brilliant.
Well, this guy is like that too. But he's getting overshadowed because the other guy is a fucking black belt jiu-jitsu speaker. You know what I
He
mean?
needs to be ready to accept that, and he needs to understand that. You know, and how do you think he feels about it? I mean, when this guy calls in,
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's kind of like in denial. Like I don't.
that's a tough thing to deal with internally when it's like this guy is way better than you at something, but like in your head is a delusion, denial, about his own abilities.
Yeah, I know, but you have to accept those things though. Like, and you can't get super cocky. I think he gets really cocky. I think people. There's like one of the Nelk boys too that became famous, and people are like, why is this guy famous? Like he doesn't have some of the guys, some of the Nelk boys, they have something to them.
You're right, a personality.
There's one of them that doesn't have it.
Right.
Like there's always that odd person. Like you watch PVD, there's one person that is like, bro, you shouldn't be here.
Think they're out of their league.
You watch Flagrant, is like, I don't know if I like this other guy.
I do know what you mean. Almost
Right.
filler.
Yeah, like a filler person. And this guy's a filler person, but he's also the producer of the show. And he's probably the one who like bankrolled a lot of it and bootstrapped a lot of it. So, but
I mean, when you insert yourself in there like that, like you want to pay your way to the top. You see people who earn their way to the top and people who pay their way to the top. Yeah, it's evident.
Yeah, but I mean, if you gotta like take personal stock of how you are, look in the mirror and say, yeah, I'm not, like I'm not a good speaker. Like I'm not good on camera. Do I really want to be in camera? Because my audience deserves the best of me. Let me go and take radio lessons, public speaking classes, improv, acting. Let me have a better personality. This guy has a stutter. He doesn't. He's weird. Like he's an awkward dude. Like he's not a confident guy. Now, some people say that Myron Gaines likes to keep these guys around him to make himself feel better, and
That's possible.
that could be possible. But at the same time, I don't know, man. Let's keep watching the roast
Yeah.
because they really roast him hard.
Let's see.
Yeah, but can you answer my question? I mean, you're kind of saying like random stuff. Can you answer my question?
What's the goal here, my friend?
Faye, off.
What do you mean? The goal of my question?
Yeah. What's the goal here?
Well, the goal is because I wanted an answer to it, but it's also kind of crazy to me that after everything Myron has done for you, he's made you basically made you rich, and you still kind of snake him a little bit, like like that whole Zerka thing, the things you say on Twitter, like those little shady, anybody who's got half a brain can kind of see what you're getting at, and it's kind of like this guy made you rich, and for you to still be so unappreciative. I mean, that's kind of crazy. I mean, kudos to Myron for staying loyal to you and still fucking with you, but yeah, that's crazy, bro.
So you think I snake Myron?
Do I think you what?
Snake Myron?
I think you shade Myron because, for example, like we know Myron is cool with Zerka. We know Myron is cool with, NF. You know what I'm saying? You know who I'm talking about. I don't need to say the full name. But you go on the internet, you know what I'm saying, and you go on Twitter and you say the things you say about, you know what I'm saying, that you're cheating people, and you go and say what you say about NF and Zerka, you know what I'm saying? Like, what, bro, like, those are the people he messes with. These are topics he likes to talk about. Why are you on the internet pretty much against it, being contrary, you know what I'm saying, to that? Like, that's mad weird, bro. Like, you owe your life to this man, if you ask me.
Well, I didn't ask you, but also, it's my opinions, my thoughts.
Okay.
I don't agree.
It's your thoughts, but it affects the platform. It affects him.
No, it doesn't.
Whether,
Actually,
you know what I'm saying? Like
this is why I know you don't know anything about what's happening behind the scenes or how things work. Actually, in content creation or business itself, my views actually help the show.
Yeah.
See how he talks? Behind the scenes, like listen to the way he says.
I was having trouble even understanding what he was saying.
Listen
I had
to
like really.
He says like behind the scenes.
It affects the platform. It affects him.
No, it doesn't.
Whether,
Actually,
you know what I'm saying? Like
this is why I know you don't know anything about what's happening behind the scenes or how things work. Actually, in content creation or business itself, my views actually help the show.
Yeah.
By the way,
what?
if you didn't know,
My views?
You said your views helps the show.
100%.
How does you going contrary to the things that Myron says on Twitter and attacking his friends and disproving of his actions? How does that help the show?
Well, you're smart enough to do the research.
How does
and understand.
arguing with Myron on the show about his opinions on things
if you
yeah, so I think what happens, bro, and good cop, bad cop.
Yeah.
Fresh should not be in front of the camera.
That guy right there.
Yeah, he's horrible in front of the camera, bro.
They can find someone else to do it.
Yeah, he just wants the clout, though. But he would have just as much clout being the guy behind the scenes. He will do an appearance here and there, show up, portray yourself as a businessman, but he wants to be always in front of the camera. People don't understand that, like, Myron will go on Twitter and talk about the 6-point star people and all that. And he, as a producer of the show, has to be like, yo, you can't say that. We're going to lose a sponsor. Do you want to be right or you want to be rich? Which one do you want to be? Do you want to pay the bills or you want to get us canceled?
Yeah.
That's what a producer does.
Right.
And I think this is what he was saying. There's a lot of stuff that happens behind the scenes that you people don't understand.
The
Fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fresh is doing all these things. I'm pretty sure Fresh is probably the one that like negotiates the sponsorships and comes up with the super chats prices and all the ways to monetize these things.
Right.
That's what a producer does, and I think that's his role in the situation. I don't know why he needs to put himself in front of the camera, bro. Like, you have to take You have to admit when you're not good at something.
Bro, sometimes our ego gets in the way of things.
And that's his ego.
And this is one of those things. And
Yeah.
I mean, it's tough because it's like, if they got someone else in there who's a better speaker, I'm sure they could get much more views, much more, attention.
Or work on it, bro. Like, I don't think he's worked on any of it.
But it's also pretty clear that he's either unaware or unwilling to address that he needs to work on this.
He probably doesn't think he needs to work on it.
Because the show's doing so good.
The show's doing great.
Why would I need to fix this? Okay.
You know what I mean? And, yeah.
Or arguing with Sneeko on the show about how he, about what he does and things like that. How is these things like? How does that help the show? Like, if anything, it just creates division. It makes people question, you guys' friendship, you guys' relationship. Like, you know what I'm saying? It almost makes you look kind of like you're betraying them a little bit. Like, you know what I mean? How does that help the show?
Let me ask you this, bro. What is me giving you an answer gonna help you with today?
I mean, no, I just feel like you've never really answered for any of these things.
Okay, that's probably the best thing he's done. Like, that tells me that he's a business guy.
What am I going to be getting out of this? How is this going to help?
Yeah,
the
what's me
situation?
giving you an answer gonna do for you today? That's a boss response, to be honest with you.
Well, it definitely just shows like I'm not fucking playing your game.
Yeah. So that tells me he knows how to negotiate.
Possibly.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Yep.
But he can't be in front of the camera.
Myron has
Negotiate
never
behind the
confronted you,
scenes.
at least not, publicly. I don't hear the callers confronting you about it. So I'm like, well, I want to hear your answer to these questions. You know what I'm saying? Like you know what the audience thinks about you.
Let me get this straight.
You know what the audience thinks about you.
Let me get
you
this
know what I'm
straight.
saying? You know the audience believes that you bring nothing to the show. You know what I'm saying? Oh, and another thing is like, Myron talks about being, a confident guy, you know what I'm saying, not taking BS from women, you know what I'm saying? Like, basically having respect for yourself. All that stuff Myron says basically comes down to have respect for yourself as a man, right? So explain to me how you got respect for yourself, right, when you're always doing things, you know what I'm saying, that almost makes the whole brand look bad. You know what I mean? Like you basically are the man Myron is telling people not to be.
Damn.
But you're doing it in front of the whole world and you're on the show. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is that, bro? Like, do you have no respect for the show? Do you not have no respect for the brand? For Myron? Like, what's up with you, bro?
You know what's funny about these questions and these assumptions? You obviously don't know anything behind the scenes.
Not
or
assumptions,
what's
bro. These
happening.
are things you've done.
And,
an assumption is something that may or may not have happened. You did it. You did these things, bro.
What
like,
did I
these
do?
are facts, bro.
What-
like,
what did I do?
None of an assumption. The Miranda situation where academics came on the show, nigga, and he was on you about that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? The whole situation with that girl. You know what I mean?
I mean, it sounds like there's an extreme lack of self-awareness. I don't know enough about him, but this guy's saying that you know how the whole crowd speaks about you and how the audience feels about you. So I guess this is a common occurrence or thing that people are noticing with him.
I think he's a good businessman. I don't think he has any other role, and I think Myron can't really say, bro, like, I don't want you here. Like, why would he? It's like if I brought you in as a co-host and you overshadowed me, bro.
Yeah.
And I just, for some reason, you explode this podcast, right? All the views, like,
Yeah.
And in my head, I'm like, I'm the guy of the show. It's like, no, bro, you have to understand. All right, for some reason, you're better at this. People like you better, but you work well with me, and I'm gonna have to zero in on your strengths, and delegate your weaknesses. Right?
Well, that would be the best way to bring the best out of me and do the best
podcast.
for your own show and for the podcast.
100%.
Know your role.
Bro, if that could happen, let's say that happens, and shit blows up, and I'm fresh and you're fit, right?
You are fresh, I am fit.
So, hey, bro, like, I would have to know my place. Like, you can't be good at everything, because it's like if I told you to edit the video, then you wouldn't do as good of a job as me.
Oh my god, dude! If I edited the video, it would be awful.
Yeah. So it's like this guy is a good business guy. I could tell. those responses are not. You see, when you see him talking to girls and shit like that, this guy stutters. Like he's like, but then you see him like what's me giving you an answer gonna do for you today? That's a fucking high level elite trained question that like you learn from like Grant Cardone, you learn from like Jordan Belfort, you learn questions like that from like Jeremy Minor, for example. You know, those are like probing questions, like outcome questions. You know,
No bullshit.
no bullshit. So I could tell this guy knows how to negotiate. He is an insecure guy. He never gets girls before. He can't speak to girls, so he wants he wants to get laid, bro. Like he's just
And so in his mind, putting himself on the podcast and putting himself out there is his way of doing it. Meanwhile, these aren't necessarily his strengths.
No.
He's got other people who have these strengths, and that's what's so important about having good people around is we all bring something to the table and we all elevate each other, right? And like I said earlier, our ego gets in the way sometimes.
your ego is not your amigo.
No, never.
Yeah,
You know, pride, man, that'll make you fall very, very quickly.
100%, bro. And this guy has a lot of ego.
Yeah, these are things that happen. The Chinese girl, these are things that happen. You know what I'm saying? These are things you've done. You know what I'm saying? Girls come on the show, they disrespect you on the show, bro. You know what I'm saying? You don't even say nothing. Myron got to back you up. Myron got to help you out. He got to save you. You know what I'm saying? You a grown man, bro. Fight your own battles, bro.
Jeez.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Be the man that you telling us to be, bro. Like, what kind of an example are you setting, right? And you over here getting punked out by girls, bro. Like, what's that? What is that? On your own show? What is that?
I don't think he has an answer.
Huh? What you laughing
I don't think
about?
it's funny,
This is not
man.
funny, bro. This is not funny. What you laughing about, bro?
It's funny to me.
Huh?
It's funny to me.
How? Why is it funny to you, bro? Why is that? Why is being a hypocrite funny to you?
You know what's funny is because you think I have to answer to you about what I do. I really don't.
Oh my God! See, that's a ledge. See, that's a ledge. So this is what you gonna say.
Secondly,
so
no.
When somebody asks you directly
Hold
about your
on.
actions,
You want
the
me to
answer
answer
is,
you? I'm answering you.
I don't want to answer this, that, and the
I'm
third.
answering you.
Huh?
So
What?
I don't know if you understand how business works and how creators work, companies work, but whatever I do, right, is for a reason. And listen, you may not like what I do, you may not think it's manly, but to be quite frank with you, bro, your opinion of me, I really don't care about. So I'll just tell you
It's
this,
not
bro.
about my opinion. You actually making it about me. It's not about me. It's about you,
Because
bro. It's not about me, bro. I'm just confronting you on the things you've done, but it's not about me.
Yo, I'll be honest with you. If I was fresh, I'd be like, let's talk outside of this call because I think you could be a good host for the fucking show. The caller sounds good on the phone, bro.
I mean, he's got his stuttering moments too. That's for sure. When he's like you know.
True.
So he definitely has his own things too. When he asked him to give examples, well, you know that he said some girl's name, the incident with that, and he's like, and then he was stuttering to find other examples. Now, I'm not saying that he doesn't have them, but this guy also fresh hasn't answered a question yet.
No.
Not a single one. I mean, you have callers call in to ask you questions. I understand, yes, it's just like the outcome answer where he's just like, what's me answering a question going to do for you today? But he keeps deflecting.
Yeah, he keeps deflecting. You know, bro, sometimes when you're doing sales or when you're in business, a lot of people are upset, and all you have to do is educate them. Educate your clients. You know, take off that negotiating hat and put on the educator hat. And just sit there and be honest with you. Be like, listen, man, there's things that happen for a reason. Everything I do is for the benefit of the show, of the company. It's not just Myron that gets paid. It's the camera guy that gets paid. It's all of these people that get paid. So if I have to tell him to back off on certain subjects, it's because there's conflict of interest, or there's this and that, or we might lose a sponsorship. Does that make sense to you? Am I making it clear, everybody who wants to fucking call and roast me in front of my show? Guys, we're here to do business at the end of the day. Like, we can't spend 80 hours a week because these guys work really fucking hard.
Yep. Long days.
I think the whole problem is like, bro, you don't need to be on the fucking show. I don't think you make more money by being on the show. Like,
you think you'd make more off the show?
I think, let's say if the show makes, I don't know, a certain amount of money, The total gross amount of money gets divided between them. Take a host and pay him a certain amount of money, $4,000 a month, $5,000-6,000 a month, whatever. Take that off their total gross, and you step back. And honestly, Fresh, like that would be a fucking easy paycheck. You don't have to get roasted. You now become you become a boss. That's what I would do. If I don't have it to be in front of the camera, and I don't have that likability, I would outsource that to a host.
You also have self-awareness, though.
Yeah.
And so, do you agree with the caller?
I agree with the caller.
You agree with the caller? Get the fuck off.
100%. Get the fuck off.
Okay.
Know your place, dog. You're a businessman. I agree. The show may not have been the show without you. Because Myron had a show with, I think he had a show before.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay. What was it? Do you know?
I don't know, but I know he was working with Donovan Sharp, and he just couldn't get it off the ground. Okay. Do you think that if he wasn't for the financial incentive, you think that he would have done business with him?
Which person doing business?
Fresh.
Fresh would have done business.
Fit, the other guy.
Fit would have done business
good
with
speaker.
Fresh if he couldn't have gotten the money from him?
Yeah.
No, probably not.
Probably not, right? Because of talent, right? You either do business for talent or because it makes sense.
Somebody brings something to the table. Yeah. Listen,
this guy brought in his fucking American Express that paid for the cameras, the lease of that fucking condo in Miami, all of these things. I know Marin could be a loyal guy. He strikes me as he's a loyal guy.
Yeah. And
there's like eternal gratitude. There might be contracts too. But bro, if I put you in that position where you're like, dog, listen, I already paid for the cameras, grind, you don't have to invest, you already have a following, let's blow this thing out of the water, you're gonna have some loyalty to me.
Of course. Absolutely.
Right?
Of course, man. You know, I think about this with, let's say you wanted to throw up some money for me to open up a gym.
Yeah.
Let's just say. Okay, so you're the bankroll behind the gym, Dave. That's
the perfect analogy.
You're gonna run all the classes, Dave. You're gonna run this. But you also train martial arts, right? You train with me, bro.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden you come in, you're like, well, I want to start teaching a couple times a week.
Right.
Right? What's gonna suffer? Yes, okay, you're the money behind this. What can I really say? Like, no, I can't tell you no. You're 51, I'm 49. Right?
Yeah.
In percentage, the split, right? Because the financial guy usually is going to be like, listen, okay, I'll give you half once I get my money back, but in the end or whatever, I'm 51-49 because when it comes down to it, I'm the one whose bankroll is at stake. So imagine, you know, people show up to learn from Crew Dave, and all of a sudden, it's not 5 classes or 6 days a week with Dave, but it's 3 days a week because Coach Chris.
Because I'm putting myself in
putting yourself in there.
It's not like I'm filling in because you're sick. Like, that would be a different story.
Exactly.
Hey, guys, Dave is not here. He told me we're going to do this. It's a 3 combo, whatever. That's a different story.
Right.
But this guy is inserting himself on there. People don't want him there. Just like people wouldn't want me teaching, to be honest.
And then imagine your ego gets in the way and the gym starts losing students. That puts me in a tough spot because you are the one who bankrolled everything. Yeah. I do have loyalty to you because of that. But I also see I don't want to sit there in front of the class and be like, listen, guys, I know Chris isn't a great Muay Thai instructor, but you know, you don't want to sit there if the students are complaining. Like, what am I supposed to tell the students? What's this guy tell the guests? He put the money behind. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No,
Maybe, Chris might be the guy who sells the most memberships because I've done that. I can sell the packages. I can do all this, market the place, fill it out. But actually teaching the class, which in this example is being a host of the show.
Exactly. He's the host. The guy's the bankroll behind it, gets everything set up.
Yeah. And I think you got to know your place, bro. And you have you have a look for radio and a voice for print. My friend.
So this all comes back down to what is the underlying issue? Ego.
Ego,
pride,
bro.
You know.
I'm sorry, man. You will not be cast for any shows.
Probably not. No, does that guy get brought on anywhere?
I don't think so. I've never seen him as a guest on.
I see a lot of Finn on there. I see a lot of Myron all over the internet. All over.
Yeah, I've seen Myron on. Yeah, it's true. Like, I saw him on. What's the British guy? The older guy. Piers Morgan.
Yeah.
I've seen Myron Gaines on there. I've seen him on No Jumper. I've seen him
Bro, he's been
doing the
around.
speech, the 21 convention speech. Like, Marin is a good talent. Marin is talent. Here's the thing. In business, there's talent and talent acquisition, right? And like, guys bring the talent and the talent comes in and the talent might not even know how business works, but they just so good at speaking.
Yeah.
And it's very, very rare when you have both.
You're a businessman,
And a speaker.
and a good speaker,
Yeah.
and you can deliver the product. as
That's
well.
when you get a fucking Hormozy. That's when you get a Ben David. That's when you get a Dave Ramsey. You know what I mean?
These are very few and far between.
Those are like world-class speakers. We're also businessmen. That's where you get, what's the guy's name? He's like, I'm not crazy. You're crazy for thinking it takes 24 hours to do a day. You know, my day.
Oh, I've seen that guy. He breaks his day into six
yeah,
hour.
yeah. My day starts from 12 to 6. Compress that and turn that into 7 days, and I kick your butt out, stack that over
I've got
72
21 days in a week. Whereas I saw that you turn your day into 3 6-hour days. 6 hours I work on this. I know
Max out, the Max Out guy. Fuck,
I know
he
who
ruined
you're
his
talking
life with
about.
that
I see
stupid
his
video.
face right now. It's not Brad Lee, but it's the guy who
It's
kind
similar
of,
to Brad Lee.
Similar to Brad Lee, but it's I know exactly who you're talking about. I can't think of his name.
He's the Max Out. Max Out. That's his thing. Max Out.
Max out.
But that's another example of a good speaker who's also a good businessman, but he fucked up with that video, bro.
Why? What makes you think that?
Because it's just like the butt of the joke now. Like every fucking, there's so many parodies about that video.
I've never seen the parodies, but I can see it now, man.
My day is 6 a.m. to noon, and I'm not crazy. You're crazy for thinking it takes 24 hours, just like some dude in a cave did 300 years ago.
When I first saw this, I was like, "Oh man, that's productive."
Dude in a cave, bro. People were not in caves 300 years ago, dog.
There's some people living in caves now, but I mean, I get.
My
what you're
second day
saying.
starts at noon and goes till 6 p.m. That's day 2. And then the next day is 6 p.m. to midnight. What I've done now is I have changed and manipulated time. I now get 21 days a week. Stack that up over a month, I'm going to kick your butt. Stack it up over a year, you're toast. Stack it up over 5 years, my entire life is different.
Yo, you're toast, bro. You're toast. You know the best part about this video is when he goes like this.
The snap, boom,
It's
done.
so-
Next day.
It's the best
Than it would have
snap
been
I ever heard.
otherwise. My day is 6
crisp.
a.m. to noon, and I'm not crazy. You're crazy
You're
for thinking
crazy.
it takes 24 hours, just like some dude in a cave did 300 years ago. My second day starts at noon and goes till 6 p.m. That's day 2. And then the next day is 6 p.m.
It's a
to
good
midnight.
one.
It's a fucking good one, bro.
We need to save that. We need to clip, we need to clip that and use that in video edits and shorts.
I'm not crazy. You're crazy for thinking it takes 24 hours like a caveman 300 years ago.
We need to do something like that for my Muay Thai videos, where it's just like, "Are you kicking like this? Well, now you're kicking like this.
And I'm not crazy. You're crazy.
for doing it this way."
But that guy's worth, I think, like $300 million or something.
So maybe we are fucking crazy. Chris.
Maybe.
You know what?
Maybe, bro. Because like,
Look at us sitting here with our your $10,000 setup, and this guy's worth $300 million, and we're sitting there talking shit.
yeah, but he's also like a multi-level marketing guy. Like he think he did Ed Milet.
Ed Milet, that's his name. Yeah.
So where did he make his money from? Anyway, that's a good speaker, and that's a good businessman as well.
Yeah.
He became wealthy because World Financial Group. It's just like PBD has PhD, and
It's a marketing.
it's
company.
literally the same way PBD made his money. Ed Milet makes his money.
Marketing
And that's the thing, bro.
company
Like
or-
all of these guys, they make all that money. When you're a good speaker and you're a good businessman, fucking magic happens.
I'll never have a snap like him either.
No, bro, that snap is the best thing about that video, dog. It took him 100 years to, stacked over 2 weeks to like come up with that fucking.
100 years stacked over two.
But yeah, hey man. Anyway, to wrap up the video, bro. Fresh, dog. What are you doing, bro? Get behind the camera, bro. You don't have it. Like, I'm sorry, dog. Hey, you know what? Maybe I don't have it either, but I'm not trying to like pretend that like I'm somebody I'm not, bro. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, for an immigrant, you have pretty good English.
Yeah, I know, but your audience will tell you, bro. Your audience will tell you. And when you have a caller like that tells you, it's like, come on, bro.
So what do you think happened at the end of that? Like, what do you think he took home from that? Do you think he's just like, this is just a guy talking shit, or?
No, I think. Listen, Fresh is you have to have thick skin. I mean, those guys get roasted, death threats at that level. I mean, every fucking day.
At a certain point, you start to realize like it's just another person talking.
It's just
shit.
another person talking. There's some truth behind what he's saying, and I think Fresh. You know, the problem is he's not going to listen, right? He's going to keep doing it, and
Yeah.
you know, here, bro. You know what happens when you get outshined by your star, There's a couple of things that can happen. If you let them shine, then you have a good situation. Like, for example, Eminem, bro, 50 outshined him for a little bit, but they became really good friends.
And now look at the two of them.
Yeah, Lil Wayne brought in Drake. Drake became the biggest star. They have good relationship together.
So you're saying when the pupil outshines the instructor?
It happens a lot.
Bro, it does happen a lot. And here's something to think about. Think about how awesome it is that you got to be a part of this person becoming a star. As a coach, a coach and parent is different, but as a coach, you want to see your students become better than you. And if you don't, you're not a fucking great coach.
Look, bro, you take a risk when you bring on a new person, right? Like, look up David Portnoy. He brought in Alexandra, the girl from Call Her Daddy. And those girls became the number 2. They've even passed Joe Rogan.
Have they really?
Yeah. No. Barstool Sports. They don't own them anymore. But that's what happens. Sometimes, hey, man, what I'm saying is you could be Dave Portnoy and Myron could be Call Her Daddy. And at some point, bro, you're like, I invested on this cat. He made me all that money. And, bro, you got to go on your own now. If you like how I conduct business, I could consult for you. We can work out a deal. But I think at some point, bro, Fresh is going to become dead weight.
Yeah. Because
Myron's brand. But the thing is, Myron also is very controversial. So he's deplatforming, canceling. He goes after the 6-point star people as well, very harsh. And
oh God, now I see what you mean.
And he does a lot of shit where you know. So I think they both need each other, right? But it's like, I'm telling you, man, like, don't
think about this from, like, if you look at this from, let's say, Fresh had the option. All right, you have two choices. You can not invest in this guy and go another way. And him knowing the outcome before and choosing, do I choose door 1 or door 2?
Yeah.
You can choose this. He's going to outshine you because of your ego. You're going to become dead weight and it's going to end bad, but you're going to have made all this money from it. Or you can go the other route and not do it.
Bro, what I would have done if I was Fresh, if it turns out that, like, hey, man, maybe I'm not talent. Like, sometimes you have to realize I'm not talent, right?
Yeah.
You know what Fresh should have done? It's like, all right, man, I got this guy Myron going. I'm gonna go Fresh Productions, and I'm gonna open up 2-3 other podcasts and find people.
Bro, if you can do that and you can accept your role as that, think about how happy you'd
Dog, they had Andrew Tate before Andrew Tate was Andrew Tate. They've had so many people that they could have signed, sponsored, this, that. But Myron wanted all the glory. Fresh. So Fresh should step back. Fuck, I got this thing going. I can leverage this and go to, what's the pimp's name? Sharp.
Sharp? Oh, yeah.
Sharp, the guy.
I remember him from Soft White Underbelly.
No Jump, so forth.
Yeah.
Okay. I would have done that. I'd be like, okay, I'm going to get Sharp, right? And I'm going to give him a podcast too. Open up different studios, find different talent. Now you're signing people.
Now you've got all these different avenues too.
Yeah, bro, you could have become so much bigger, but you're thinking so short term, thinking that you're talent and you're not. And unfortunately, when your talent is gone, you're not gonna be anybody. You know what's gonna happen, bro? Is these guys are gonna go their separate ways, and Fresh is gonna become a consultant, and maybe he's gonna put up a course on how to start a podcast, how to do this, how to do that. But he could have had like 5 different podcasts and all of these things. And
that's actually smart. I wonder if he thought about it like that.
I don't think so. I think he's just the thing is, this podcast, they take a life of its own, of their own, and it's a lot of work too. Like I'm sure he's working a lot, but I don't think he should be in front of the camera. I think he should be working on the business, not in the business.
How long do you think until their relationship starts to fray to a point where they're like, I'm done with you and I'm done with you? Do you see it starting to happen?
I don't follow them that much, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna last forever.
Maximize your time. Maximize what you do with it. Get out before it's too late.
I think Myron needs to have a honest conversation and be like, bro, I'll be honest with you, man. Like,
How do you do that with somebody who's bankrolled you this whole time and is,
Well, how would you tell me if I buy a gym and then I start teaching?
And I'm the one who you bought it for to run this, and we're in that same situation. That's tough, man. That's a very hard conversation to have, and the hard conversations to have are sometimes the most necessary. But
You
it's
have
just
to have
like,
these
how do you
hard
break that
conversations.
ice?
I would have those conversations 100%.
I know you would.
And I
know
think
you would.
here's the thing with Fresh. Like, I think he has those hard conversations about business, but nobody's having those conversations with him. Like, I could see him putting Myron in his place. Like, he's probably a little gangster. Like, he's probably like
Maybe behind the scenes.
behind the scenes. He's probably like, but dog, you gotta look in the mirror and be like, dog, I'm not good for this. Like, this is not my thing.
Self-awareness. Sometimes
Self-awareness,
is
guys.
It's sometimes a very difficult thing to address. And looking in the mirror, sometimes you don't like what you see back, and having to own it. Yeah, it's tough.
So dark, can't see a thing. I hear a song of the broken beat. Give me nickel, give me dime, give me dollar, I'll give